So in this week we learned about color. We learned about how red, green, and blue are the primary colors, and then we have the opposite of those, which are yellow, magenta, and cyan, and these are opposites. So red and green make yellow, red and blue make magenta, and green and blue make cyan. And this was kind of a demonstration of additive and subtractive coloring, basically an additive coloring. They are mixed, the lights are mixed together, and in subtractive, one color is reflected, and that's the color that's seen, and all the other colors are absorbed. So you can't see this picture very well, but I guess an example of that would be when the blue light here is reflected on, say, the magenta pigment. Magenta is made of red and blue, so the blue light is reflected, and that's the seen color shown with a dot, and the red light is absorbed. So we spent the rest of the week in physics learning how to draw light diagrams, or ray diagrams, and these diagrams help you find out the distance and height of the virtual image. Or so this one was one that we did as a group. We learned how to do them when the object was outside of the focal length, and we also learned how to do them when the object was inside of the focal length. And in that case, the process is a little bit different to draw the location of the image. So here's one where the object is inside the focal length. And we also learned about the Lenel lens here. That was kind of fun. And then basically how the stuff that we did in class today is relevant to my life. It just helped me get a better overall idea of focal length, because I, for some reason, kind of thought of focal length as the length of the lens, but it's actually not the length of the lens at all. It is, there's a picture, it's the point where the rays kind of converge, or in a concave lens, a point where they diverge. And basically in cameras, the focal point is shorter or smaller, because that gives a wider image and you're able to see a further amount of space. Kind of seen here as this picture. The smaller, the 18mm focal point is wider, versus like a telescope or a magnifying lens, the focal length is much bigger, because that helps. It basically takes a smaller image and it magnifies it, so you'll have a much narrower field of vision. For the rest of the week, we met up on Friday, and after work and worked on our telescope a little bit. We decided to wait until class today to learn about how to do the measurements, since we didn't have a meter stick with us. So I'll have more on that next week. Here's some notes that I took in class this week. Basically, we just kind of learned some more relationships between, like, as the distance of the object increases, then the distance of the image will decrease, and we also learned that, like, the magnification will increase as the distance of the object increases, and just some relevant comparisons. And this week we didn't have too much online activities. We responded to the discussion board, the TED Talk discussion board, and I figured out what I'm finally going to do for my culture event, which I wanted to go see a lecture, but it was very difficult for me to find one that wasn't while I was working, so I found this IMAX presentation at the Arizona Science Center about space junk. It's just kind of talking about getting rid of the orbital debris in space. So I will be going to see that either today or Thursday. So more on that next week. That's it for this week.